Hello, homies and haters. Welcome back to knitting myself a 1950s match set. In part 1, which I will put up there, we knitted the sweater. In part 2, we will be knitting the skirt, and as a refresher, this is what the skirt looks like. It is extremely cute. It is a little pleated number. Mine does not look like that. As I am recording now, I have already finished it and worn it. But it is knit in, if I can find it, Soft of Warmth, which is a 95% alpaca, 5% acrylic. It is in a burgundy color. This is how much I have left. And if it has a color name, I can't understand it. I don't know. But I got this yarn off of Temu, and like I mentioned in my last vlog, I can't recommend it simply by virtue of it being Temu yarn. But I will go ahead and send you back to past me to actually knit the skirt. So I will see you on the other side. Today is Friday, November 7th, and I did not record the last 2 days. But I did finish my sweater. I've not blocked it yet, and I started on the skirt. I have been using the yarn that is left over from redoing the sweater, and this is how far I am so far. So I have got, this is the waistband facing, and then I've got the waistband itself, and then 3 inches of the pleat pattern. And this pattern is really interesting. So I have never looked at a pattern for a pleated skirt before, so I don't know how they're typically constructed. But this has you, I'm doing it upside down, so when it tells me to bind off, I'm casting on instead. So the original pattern has you bind off 6 stitches every 10. So, and then when you create the pattern, it creates this ridge along one side where it's all purl stitches over here and all knit stitches over here. So what'll happen is, I'm not holding this very well for this explanation. So what'll happen is once I'm done, that is not a good angle for that. Once I'm done, I will take this extra bit and I will fold it to the inside and sew it down, so it creates a nice pleat. And so there are 8 increases from the waistband to the hem. They are every 3 inches, and then you knit 6 inches at the end, and that ends up with 24 inches, which the skirt in the photo that they photographed comes to about mid-thigh, which that's pretty normal for the average height in the 1950s, because this is an early 50s pattern. I'm significantly taller than the average height of a woman in the 1950s. And I also don't know how much yarn I have. So I'm going to do the increases every 3 inches. And then just see how much distance I can get. What I will do is, right now I have got this much yarn left from what I pulled off the sweater, and I am going to finish that up and then place a progress marker, and then I'm going to knit a full skein and measure that, and then figure out, how many more of those repeats that I can do. So I can pretty much figure when I stop increasing and do the final 6 inches, but also if I increase like 2 inches before the end and I didn't realize, that's not a big deal. I don't care. So I'm just gonna plug away on this. I don't know how much more I'm going to film. Wednesday, I got Botox for my migraines. And the funny thing is when you stab the muscles in your skull that cause migraines, it tends to give you a migraine. So I'm just kind of... It takes a few days for it to, like, properly actually start working, up to, like, 2 weeks. So I have 3 weeks to get this skirt done. I'm just gonna plug away at it, and I will check in when I can stomach it, I guess. Okay, so I have officially finished off all of the yarn that I got from this sweater, and this is how far I've gotten. It is 4.5 inches, I believe, not counting the waistband. So it got me the waistband, 2 repeats, and half a row. I still have this partial ball from when I was knitting the sweater that got put back in to the rest of the yarn. So I'm going to use that, and then I have 2 left from this bag. My phone is resting on one. So what I'm going to do is use up this, place a progress marker, then use up all of this, just one of them, and then measure that distance, and then run some math, because I have 7 full skeins total. So we'll see how long that gets me. That should work, because I'm making 17 increases every 3 inches, and that is not, like, it'll take all the increases for it to add a row. So I think that's a good way of reckoning. So I will get that done, and at some point I might try this on. My cats are fighting in the background, if you can hear that. Okay, so it is Sunday morning, and I am 3 repeats into my skirt, and this is how it's looking, and I kinda hate it. The pattern's fine, I like the pattern. It's just that there's no way these pleats are gonna sit the way that they're supposed to, and I do not have the ability to pin it down to where all these pleats are gonna sit right. I just don't see that happening. So if you look, this ridge right here, where it goes between the knits, the solid knits and the solid purls, that is the edge of the inside of the pleat. So that part is supposed to fold inward. Like this. Ooh, let me get this set up. Like this. And there's just no way it's gonna sit like that without me essentially tacking it the whole way down. So I'm going to go back to the waistband. I also think my pleats are too wide, and instead of doing every 3 inches, I'm going to do every 2 repeats, just for more consistency, for my increases. So this is knit 10, cast on 6. I'm going to try knit 5, cast on 6.
and that I'm also going to switch, like basically turn the pattern backwards so that the knits are on the outside of the plate and the pearls are on the inside, so that when it curves or when the knits push on the pearls, it will automatically push them into place. No biggie. I still have like 2 weeks, 2 and some weeks, I think. And this was 3 days. So if I had continued on this, I could have had this done this week. So this wasn't even 3 days. This was 3 days. Because I knit Thursday, and then Friday, and then Saturday. I did not do much knitting any of those days. So, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and rip this back and start again. It is 10:30 p.m., November 10th. And I have finally gotten back to where I was before. And the lighting sucks, so I don't know if you can properly see that, but I cut all the stitch counts for the pleats in half. So the original pattern, which was at a smaller gauge, so I really should have done this to begin with, but it was 10 stitches for the outer pleat and then 6 stitches for the inner pleat. Cat in the background. I ended up doing 5 and 3, and I flipped the pattern so that the knit stitches would be on the outside just so it would fold more naturally, and I am liking that so much better. I have to do barely anything when I block this. That wrestling is my cat. He has a bag under my chair. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying, but, yeah, it's pleating on its own, and I still have this much left of the skein that I was working on when I decided to frog. This is the second time I have frogged this. The first time was the waistband because I managed to twist it. But hopefully, this is the last time. If I have to frog it again, I'm just not wearing it for Thanksgiving this year. I will set it aside and work on something else instead. So, fingers crossed that I can actually get this done. Okay, so it is the next day, and I have finished another skein, which means that is all from the bags that I have opened. And right now, it is, I don't know how many inches. I don't have a ruler nearby to check, but if I pull it down to my hips, as if it were low rise or mid rise, it's a nice mini skirt length, which is not what I am going for, and it is also supposed to sit at my waist, and at my waist it's a micro skirt. It's a clubbing skirt. Like, it's gonna stretch out over time, but I definitely have a long ways to go, and I think I didn't weigh the yarn that I had left over because I don't own a scale. That's something I need to work on. But I think this was approximately like 3 skeins. But now it is time to open up my last bag of this yarn. So I have 5 more skeins, and I'm thinking this is not going to be knee length. It'll be knee length if I'm lucky. It might be knee length next year, after it stretches out. But, so yeah, this is definitely going to be a tights under it skirt, I'm thinking. especially for a church function. But I'm making pretty good progress. I had about a quarter of a skein left this morning, and I finished that and an entire another skein, and I still have time to knit tonight if I wanted to, which I'm not sure if I will. I'm listening to Penelope Scott right now, so I might stay up a bit longer, and if I'm staying up, I'm going to knit, whether I'm working on this or a different project, because I cannot have hands that are still, if I do not want to have skin that is scabbed.
So it is Saturday, November 15th, and yesterday I got a lot of progress done on my skirt. Not gonna pick it up right now. I ended up staying up till like midnight. I've been averaging about one skein a day. But yesterday I managed to get basically like a skein and a half. The day before I did not finish the skein because I was just not feeling well, so I didn't do a whole lot of knitting. I got most of the skein done though. So yesterday I finished off that skein and then knit the entire skein for yesterday and then joined on another skein, and then I stayed up, like I said, till midnight, just watching anime. And so I made some pretty good progress, and I would be on track to finish tomorrow, except my sister's cat has decided he lives with me now. And my cat does not like him. One of my cats, Rosie, my calico, has decided I wouldn't say she doesn't like him. It's just that she really enjoys beating the shit out of him, which he does not like, obviously. And for the past week, he's been, in his own space, in the back bedroom, only coming out to, like, eat or drink. But last night he decided, that he was sick of it, and he was gonna sleep on my bed, like he's been doing, previously. And I was just laying there minding my own business, with my sister's cat up under my arm, and Rosie came in, and they started growling at each other, and I put my hand up to block line of sight, which usually works just fine, but I managed to put my hand up right when Rosie was swatting, and she scratched my hand. You can't really see the scratches because she didn't do much damage, but it hurts, and it is stiff as hell, and my knuckle is bruised. So I really have not gotten much work done today because of that, and then also I didn't get much sleep because the cat's fighting on top of me. So I just did my chores, knit for like an hour, and then slept, and then I've been trying to get back into it. It has not worked. So I think I'm not really in the mood to knit, so I'm gonna do something else. Hopefully I will be feeling better tomorrow, but I've still got a week and a half, and I don't think it's gonna take it a week and a half to dry. It is really, I don't know if you can hear it, it's very rainy today. Or at least as rainy as it gets in Death Valley. So, yeah. So that's been fun. I will check in when I've made any progress, and hopefully my hand starts feeling better.
Hey guys, it is Sunday now, and I have attached the final skein of this yarn. And I am about 4 rows in to the next repeat, and I think what I'm going to do is, because each of these skeins does about 1 repeat and like 4 or 5 rows maybe. But a repeat is about 9 rows long. I'm just going to do this one, and then whatever I have left over, if I have enough to do something, I'll do something else with. Either way, it's just going to go in my scrap box. So it's not going to be very long. It's probably going to be top of my knees, but what I think I'm going to do is just be very lackadaisical about how I block it. So I don't work with wool very often, but like the last 2 times that I blocked something, I was really careful to make sure it didn't stretch out in any way that like I wasn't happy with, and that I ended up with like a pretty good result. I do not have blocking pins. I don't have blocking boards. I have a towel on my bathroom floor. That's my whole blocking setup. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna be really mean to it. Gonna, do the normal, let it soak, but when I pull it out, instead of being careful to hold all the weight so that it doesn't stretch out, I'm gonna grab it by the waistband. And I know that, see if I can remember their usernames. Handmade with Kay and her sisters block their things that way, and it turns out fine for them, but they're also using like nicer wools than what I'm using, because they buy from reputable brands. They don't get free yarn from Temu. So I'm hoping that that's gonna get me just like a smidgen more length. My sweater did not grow the last time I made it, or this time, like at all. The size that it was is the size that it stayed. Haven't tried it on this time, but just from looking at it and comparing it, before and after, it really didn't go anywhere. So I'm hoping being mean to it will let it be longer. If that doesn't work, it's a knee-length skirt. It doesn't matter. It is really, really cold today. My hand is feeling better, which is nice, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a cold, which is not fun. Sorry if I'm making like any gross noises. I'm trying so hard not to. I've got 6 more rows left, maybe? I don't know. So I'm definitely going to be able to finish this today. I'm going to get to the end of the repeat and then just bind off. And then I still have to put the elastic in and sew down the waistband, which is going to be fun because I'm going to have to play that by ear, because the last thing I put an elasticated waistband in stretched out so severely that I had to take out half of the elastic, and it still stretches out, and the elastic was tight on me before I put it in the sweater, before I put it in the pair of pants. So that was cotton. Cotton's heavy. This is not as heavy, but I'm still worried it's going to stretch out. So I'm probably going to do that after I block it, not gonna lie. I will like hold it up to try it on beforehand, just to like get an idea. But I think I'm gonna block it and then add the elastic. And then pull the elastic until the skirt doesn't fall down anymore, and then sew it down and sew it together. So I'm gonna end up with a hole in my waistband, because I have learned my lesson. I'm not undoing that again. I'm just leaving an access point. So I've just finished the knitting on the skirt. It's early. I am one row before the end of the final repeat, and I have decided that because of the bind off I'm using, I'm just gonna bind off here. I still have a fair amount, but obviously not enough for a full other repeat. So this is just gonna be the final length of the skirt, and I'm gonna bind off. I don't know what it's called. It's a stretchy bind off. I got it from one of those knitting my first sweater vlogs. So I don't know what the bind off is called. But it's pretty much my go-to nowadays when I need a stretchy bind off. This does not need a stretchy bind off, but I like the way it looks. So it kind of looks like an I-cord bind off. I've not looked into an I-cord bind off, so it could be, but I don't believe that it is. So the way that it's worked is you knit one, yarn over one, knit a second one, and then pass both the first knit and the yarn over your second stitch, and then you just keep going like that, and it kind of makes like a faux I-cord. And I like the look of that, and I made an all-over cable sweater for my mom. I used that bind off because it needed to be stretchy. And what I did was I knit on the knits and I purled on the purls, so that the I-cord ended up like going back and forth. And I really like that. And I think that's going to work really well for the pleats, because the way that the pleats are constructed is there's a knit stitch right next to a purl stitch. And as you're creating the triangle shape, which you can't really see, as you're creating this triangle shape, you always leave the knit stitch and the purl stitch. So they are always there. So that the knit stitch will automatically want to push the purl stitch down and want to create that pleat. So you don't have to work very hard to create the pleat later. So I'm just going to knit across every stitch except for that last purl stitch. And hopefully that will make it so that the hem pleats as well. Here is my skirt so far. She's a bit big, and I'm not entirely sure how that happened, because before I put it on, it's about half my waist measure, but that's probably just because it is stretching out. Hopefully elastic will fix that. But she is, if I can get up at all. Anyways, knee length, I'll just pick up the fucking phone. Knee length currently. You get to see my gym jams now. And hopefully this is stretching out literally as I am speaking. Hopefully, once I block it, it will get longer and stop being so damn wide. But we're going to block. Yeah, it was not this wide before I put it on. But we're going to block it and then add the elastic. And if I have to reknit this, that's a problem for later. We're not doing that, no. I will put this away for a year like I did the sweater. So I'm gonna go ahead and block this now. So it's Tuesday the 25th. Thanksgiving is the day after tomorrow.
I still have not finished my skirt. It is dry. It just needs the waistband and elastic. But I have been avoiding doing it because I did not want to film. That's it. That's the only reason. But I need to get it done today. I do not want to carry it over to tomorrow if I can help it. But so I need to try it on and then sew the waistband down. But I will try it on now. Okay, so this is my skirt, and this is how much extra fabric I have. She did grow a little bit in blocking, which you cannot see. I don't think there's a way for me to properly show you. But it is now at the bottom of my knees instead of at the top. But I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to throw elastic in it now and let it be gathered. But in the future, I am going to have to reknit this. And I'm going to take note of how many pleats extra I have. And then, because each pleat is 5 stitches, so if I need to take off 3 pleats, then that's 15 stitches. But this is like a lot of pleats. This is 6 pleats. I cast on 30 too many stitches. That is insane. But I don't care right now. I'm going to take note of that and then take this and go sew down the waistband. So I'm going to film this here where the lighting is good. Ignore my cardigan in the corner. But as you can see, I've got the waistband here and the waistband facing here, which is curling up. So it's going to be folded down like this. And I've got the purl edge here so that you won't be able to see this on the outside. And if you look at the way that the pleat is constructed, I've got 5 stitches and then 3 cast-ons. And what the pattern wants you to do is it wants you to sew these down. I think that's a lot of unnecessary work. So what I'm going to do is when I sew down the waistband, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up stitches along the cast on. I did a backwards loop cast on, so I can literally just pick up the cast on here. That works as a stitch, and then I'm going to pick up the purl bumps down here, and I'm going to pick up 3 purl bumps along the pleat of 5, and then 2 cast-ons from the 3, and then 3, and then 2, and so that the Kitchener stitch will pull the pleat in to where it sits. So I'm basically going to start 3 in from the beginning, from the end of the previous cast on. That's incorrect. I'm going to start 2 on the 3rd stitch in from the end of the previous cast on, and then pick up 5 all the way across, and then Kitchener stitch this down. And then I'm going to leave a section open so that I can get the elastic in there, because I need to adjust it while it's on me so I know for a fact I have the right size, because I do not want to have to take this apart and shorten anything. And this is currently covered in cat hair, which is so fun. Like, I love that for me. But what can you do? I have cats, so it's inevitable. But yeah, so that was long and rambly, and I'm probably going to have to cut parts of that out, but that is essentially what I am going to do. So next time I see you, there should be I should have a finished skirt. Okay, today is Wednesday, and first off, look at my sweater. I got this for like $5 at Goodwill. It is 100% virgin wool. It's so nice. I love it so much. I need to shorten it though. Anyways, back to the topic of discussion. I finished the waistband on my skirt, and I've got the elastic already threaded through it. So I've got it inside out. I just need to put it on and pull until it's tight enough. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. It's already pretty darn close, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it tighter because I know this is probably going to stretch out. That should be tight enough, hopefully. So I'm gonna go get this sewn and then trimmed, and then it's done. And I can wear it tomorrow. And here is the final outfit. Yeah. I wish the skirt were longer, but I'm just gonna reknit that later, so it doesn't matter. Now, obviously I'm not fully dressed yet. I've got 2 pairs of shoes that I could wear. I've got this black bedazzled pair. They're a little bit dirty. Probably not gonna end up wearing those, but that depends on my necklace. I've also got this gold and white pair. And for necklaces, I only have one option for the black shoes. Hello. Goodbye. My cat just opened my door. Anyways, I've got this gorgeous red necklace that I got for $1 at Goodwill. I mean, it's just costume jewelry, so it doesn't matter, but I'm thinking I don't like that with this. I'm thinking that's the wrong shade of red. So no black shoes. That means we're wearing the white. And this is the necklace I was initially going to wear, which is this gorgeous pearl piece with a pendant in the middle. This one I got in Goldfield at a stone shop. It is... I'm so glad I decided to put on my slip. I'm just gonna lay it down. But it is so pretty. It's a high necklace, which is fun. I kind of still like that. It's giving very Martha May from The Grinch. So that's very good contender. But I got this necklace and I'm going at Goodwill the other day, and I'm going to be so... I'm gonna be kicking myself later if I don't at least try it as an option. It is this gorgeous pearl, I have that backwards, waterfall piece, and it is just, it's much. It's much. I think I will wear this with the sweater, but not with the skirt and not for Thanksgiving. So, all that trying, and I'm still just gonna wear the same necklace that I chose, but I have these little clip-ons. I got a whole bag of clip-ons. I'm undecided if, I don't think I'm going to wear them because the way my hair is, you can't really see, but so let me get that on and then I will show you. I mean, you pretty much already saw what it looks like, so I don't think I need to show you, but put it on. That, yeah, that is just so pretty. Oh my god. I don't think I have anything I want to wear in my hair. I have a pearl headband, but it's like a white pearl, and this is more of like a cream pearl. So I'm probably just gonna do nothing. But yeah, this is my outfit that I knit completely from vintage patterns that are older than my grandma and extremely cheap yarn. This whole set probably cost about $20. And that was not the initial bag of yarn. That was the 2 my mom bought when I ran out of yarn the first time. So I'm pleased with it, but I'm going to kick you over to the outro. And like a 2000s coming of age movie, we are back at the beginning. As I said in a couple clips in this, actually, I'm not entirely happy with the fit, and I will be re-knitting it later. But aside from that, I'm really, really happy with how this set turned out. I wore the outfit the entire day, and this, I've said it before, I've said it a million times, this is not good yarn. This is cheap yarn, but it's actually kind of nice to wear. It was itchy. I thought that would bother me. It really didn't. And I was surprised that throughout the entire day, I was not hot or cold once. I was actually extremely comfortable, which is very rare for me. I'm usually very temperature. And I just received so many compliments. Like, everyone was obsessed with the outfit, which I was not expecting. I normally don't get complimented on my clothes, or if I do, it's like a person here or there. But yeah, so the match set was very successful. I'm extremely pleased with it. I will be taking it with me on our Christmas trip to see our extended family, because we're heading north and it'll be cold up there, and I don't have a lot of cold clothes because I live in the desert, and we get cold here. We don't get that cold down here, but I'm very excited to keep wearing it through the winter. So I'm probably going to wait until next year to reknit the skirt. And I might change my mind in that time, we'll see. But as this video is drawing to a close, I am gonna go ahead and mention that, first off, happy December. As I am posting this, it is December 1st. And I would like to do vlogging this year. I would like to do Vlogmas. I don't think I'm going to be, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to keep up with a daily vlog. Or even an every other day vlog. So I will be doing a weekly vlog, tentatively. It might not work, but we're being hopeful. But I am calling it Goosemas. And that is because I have this goose stocking. And I'm going to be knitting myself a matching cardigan. But that is not this video. That is a different video. So by virtue of what day this is coming out, this will be episode 1 of Goosemas. So happy Goosemas. And tell me what you're working on in the comments. Yeah. Like it if you like. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next video.